Sheriff's Office received a report from Forbush Middle School of a student with a gun on campus. School administration notified the SRO and the gun was confiscated. Authorities later learned the student found the gun in his mother's home. Amanda Ward was arrested and charged with one misdemeanor count of a failure to store a firearm to protect a minor. She was released and is scheduled for a court appearance in January.
Our top story at 4, a stark warning from state leaders as we inch closer to Christmas. Governor Cooper and Department of Health leaders shared what information is known about the Omicron variant.
Dr. Mandy Cohen said the variant is known to be 2 to 3 times more contagious than the Delta variant, which makes it 4 to 6 times more contagious than the original strain of COVID.
The newest variant of COVID-19, Omicron, is the most contagious we've seen yet and will likely set record high daily case numbers in the coming weeks.
Governor Cooper said there are 3 ways we can fight this variant. Number 1, get your booster shot. Number 2, get tested. This is especially important if you plan to travel to see friends or family for Christmas. And number 3, get vaccinated if you have not already. Dr. Cohen said the Omicron variant appears to be less severe than the Delta variant, but it can still pose a danger to the unvaccinated and anyone at higher risk of catching the virus.
We're tracking a surprising jump in a local pandemic number. Now, this graph shows the number of coronavirus patients in Guilford County hospitals. The latest number, 106. It's the highest number the county has reported in 2.5 months. Today's number is 25 higher than Friday's number. Now, this number has, of course, you can see gradually gone up over the past few weeks. Last week, our numbers averaged in the 70s. The week before, they were in the 60s. Now, keep in mind the gaps are days that the county doesn't report numbers, typically over the weekend. Moderna said a booster dose of its vaccine offers strong protection against the Omicron variant. Lab tests showed a half dose increased a person's antibodies 37 times, while a full dose triggered an 83-fold increase in antibody levels. Other research suggests the vaccine, still protects against severe disease if someone were to experience a breakthrough infection. Half-dose booster shots are recommended, but a full-dose third shot has been recommended for people with weakened immune systems.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. The NFL is changing its COVID protocols for vaccinated players. Only unvaccinated players and anyone experiencing symptoms of COVID will be tested. Before the rule change, vaccinated players were tested weekly. Unvaccinated players will continue to be tested daily. Over the weekend, the league moved the 3 games because of COVID outbreaks. The new rules take effect on Sunday. And the NBA postponed 5 games yesterday, impacting 9 teams as COVID treks through the sport. 3 Sunday games, that's Cleveland at Atlanta, Denver at Brooklyn, and New Orleans at Philadelphia were postponed. And tonight's Orlando game against Toronto has been postponed, as well as tomorrow's Washington game at Brooklyn. As of Sunday, at least 75 players from 20 teams were ruled out to play because of COVID protocols. The association agreed on a plan to allow roster flexibility for teams, allowing teams to sign a replacement player for each player under contract who tests positive for COVID. Procter & Gamble is recalling aerosol dry shampoo and conditioner spray products. The recall hits half a dozen brands sold nationwide after benzene was found in them. Benzene can cause cancers like leukemia and blood cancer of the bone marrow and other life-threatening blood disorders. Brands like Aussie, Herbal Essence, Pantene, and Waterless are impacted. The company is offering reimbursement to anyone who purchased the recalled products. And the reward for information in an 18-year-old's death is being increased 1 year after she died. Greensboro Crime Stoppers is offering $5,000 for any information that can help solve the shooting death of Christina Jones. Jones was killed in a drive-by shooting on the corner of South and Ogden Streets back on December 12th. If you have any information, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at this number, 336-373-1000.
Well, we're looking at temperatures as we head into the next few days, and we're still doing a little bit of the up and down, kind of the roller coaster thing. Not as bad as the way it was there for a while when we were seeing 70s one day and 40s the next. Clearly in the 40s right now. 41 in Greensboro, 40 REIDSVILLE, Walnut Cove at 41. Hey, High Point, you were at 43, along with 42 in Asheboro. Here's your hour by hour heading into the night. Clouds, they're out there. You know, we'll say variably cloudy to mostly cloudy. We will get cool again, though, with overnight lows going down into the 20s once again, just like they were this morning. You can see the cloud cover, and yeah, here's a lot of precipitation to the south. This is lifting back up to the north little by little. Here's what it looks like on the surface charts. You can see the fronts. It's that low pressure that's bringing this in. So this is tomorrow morning early, still cold, right? But then this low moves in from the coast. That counterclockwise flow will warm us up a little bit, and you can see though that rain does overspread the area. The low is hanging off the coast, so it'll get out of here pretty quickly, and we think it will clear out too, especially by the time we get to Wednesday. So Tuesday we have that rain chance in there, and then things look a little bit better by the middle of the week. Again, temperatures a little bit up and down here, but 45 tomorrow, late day shower, that's a 30% chance, more likely the farther east you go. And then Wednesday, variably cloudy, 53. We've got 28 and 49 for Thursday. And as we head into Christmas Eve, the daytime high 57, for Santa's Ride 42, and the high on Christmas Day 64. A nice Sunday as well, partly cloudy and 62.
Concussion research, a hot topic these days, especially after learning the former NFL player Philip Adams, who went on a killing rampage in April, had extensive CTE. Some of that research happening right in our own backyard. Wake Forest School of Medicine has several projects looking into the biomechanics of concussion with a wide range of sports, as well as the long-term effects on the brain. Dr. Christopher Miles is a sports medicine physician, associate professor of family and community medicine, and the football team physician at Wake Forest University. He says the case involving Adams is very unique.
CTE as a condition is a case where proteins are deposited in the brain in certain areas. And most commonly that's in the temporal lobe of the brain. But in this individual, they had frontal lobe deposits of this tau protein.
Dr. Miles says stories like this should not be a reason to not let your child play sports. He says one concussion doesn't expose you to CTE. Multiple can be a cause for concern, and doctors may advise athletes to quit playing the sport altogether. What they don't know is if genetics or substance abuse can be a factor in these rare CTE cases. There's still much unknown about this, and that's why Wake Forest School of Medicine is looking for adolescent athletes who have had a concussion to participate in their new study.
Look into that as an opportunity to help further our knowledge of this condition and to make sports safer for their children and children to come.
Dr. Miles says it's important for all athletes, whether it be football, soccer, or cheerleading, to do more CTE and concussion research. And of course, we'll keep you updated for when they need families to sign up for that. But I think this is going to be some breakthrough research. They actually want kids that are involved in sports that have had a concussion because of sports to be able to watch them long term to see what kind of effects that has on their brains.
You know, if you watch the NFL for any length of time and you see some of those hits, you know that something has to, there's a long-term effect with that. I mean, I know we're just now sort of getting into this, but even when I was younger, you look at some of those hits, that has to do something to a body long-term.
Some of those hits, they're scary.
Yes, they
scary
are.
to watch, especially if you're a parent that has a kid that plays. I think them doing this kind of research and getting people involved now, especially at that young age, is going to also help with the type of equipment that these athletes wear, and we'll probably start to see some of those changes there to just make sure they're safe while they're out on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just the parents, it's the coaches, all of the staff. They need to know what to look for in these kids, so they don't just say, oh, you'll be fine, go back out there and play. Like,
shake it off, shake it off.
Right.
That's what the mentality
That's
used
what
to
it is
be.
a lot of times, even now.
That's exactly right. And you think back to the old days and you look at old film of football, they wore leather helmets. There's no support whatsoever with that.
Scary.
Anyway, come a long way.
Yeah,
Come a
we
long way
definitely
to go.
have.
We'll be right back.
So imagine this, there you are at work doing your regular routine when a major country music star walks in. Well, that happened this past Saturday at the Music Barn in Greensboro. I spoke with manager Sean Roberts about the star sighting there. Well, Sean, we have to start out by saying that this is pretty cool when I heard this. Tell me what happened Saturday, I guess late afternoon.
I got a phone call Saturday and from the owner, which we've been in business for 50 years here this year, and Tommy had called me and he was telling me that two guys came in the store and they wanted to bring Eric in to buy a few guitars. And so as far as I know, Tommy said that he stopped what he's doing and come on up here, because I was in Winston, and he took care of them, and Eric come in and he wanted to buy a lot of stuff out of the glass case. So he bought quite a bit of instruments, even some of the vintage instruments that we've had here for years that we had locked up. That's, he's heard about us through Nashville and everywhere else. So when he made it in, he came over here and checked us out and supported us.
So he sent his two guys in to kind of look at all the guitars, right? And then you said they left and came back. And what did they say to you guys?
Well, he just wanted it to be secured a little more. So, he just wanted to make sure everything was secure when he brought Eric in. They were kind of sightseeing, I guess, maybe, to check out what we have. We do have a lot of stuff. It's kind of been family owned, family run, 50 years, and he's accomplished a lot of good stuff.
Did word get out fast? I know you guys put it on Facebook.
Yeah, and being that I've been here so long, probably 30 years myself, they found my number, and I think it was Ashley that called and wanted to do an interview on it, and you had contacted me, so here we are.
That's awesome. Supporting local business. That's good. Sean, thanks for your time today. So first of all, two of his people, in case you didn't catch it, walked in, and the guy that was there said, I just noticed these two guys and they were checking out all of our vintage guitars. They left. Then they came back. So apparently what they were doing was going in and looking at everything, then going back and reporting to Eric Church in the car and saying, hey, we saw this, this, and this. And he goes, okay, I want to get them. So they went back in and said, we've got Eric Church out here. Can you lock it down and let us come in with nobody in the store? And they checked with their owner. The owner said, absolutely. And then he comes in and spends like $56,000 on guitars. They said he took all the vintage guitar, a lot of the vintage, not all, and they had been in those cases so long they thought nobody'd ever buy them, that they said we had to go back and dig through the back to find the actual guitar case, because those things have been there for like 20 years.
That is pretty awesome. This happened over the weekend, correct?
Saturday night.
Saturday, so they're probably like, oh, another Saturday, let me go into work. But then a big celebrity walks through and buys up a bunch of guitars. I mean, that's amazing.
I think it's so cool when celebrities go back to their hometowns and like invest in the local community. I love seeing that. And I guess he was at that concert too.
Who?
Or Chad Silver.
Oh.
He showed me a picture. He was so close to Eric Church. He probably could have grabbed his hand.
Hi, you see. It was funny when we were doing the interview, the gentleman, Sean, that I interviewed by mistake, I didn't use this part, but he's called Eric Church Eric Chilton.
Oh, he did?
Because the names are so similar. He said,
he really called him that?
he called, and he said it to me. He goes, well, then Eric Chilton came in just because he was talking to me. You know?
I mean, I would think that some people might get a little,
No.
You are a legend,
man. Fangirl you a little bit.
That was funny.
So modest.
That was funny. That's all I'm saying.
He knows he's that guy.
No, we'll take a break. I'm embarrassed now. We'll be right back.
Now you need some shades.
Yep.
On.
A REIDSVILLE family is warning others about the importance of routine checkups after their 6-year-old daughter was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. It's an aggressive form of bone cancer. They say what appears to be a minor pain or ache could be something much worse.
There is like pink, orange,
6-year-old Leah Davenport
green,
loves to stay
yellow,
active,
blue.
whether that's making
purple.
arts and crafts
He's cute.
or playing with her baby Yoda.
She has a lot of little hidden talents here and there. As of last night, Leah told me she's interested in opening up a restaurant. She want to be a cook.
Even you can make a necklace.
But some days, she just wants to rest. Her mother, Melinda Davenport, says the family noticed a change in Leah's behavior over the summer.
Because it's the summer, we're like, Leah, you know, why aren't you playing outside? Why don't you go outside and play? And she kept saying, well, my leg kind of hurts, but we didn't notice anything physical.
Davenport says she eventually took her daughter to the doctor. She says she was told it was just growing pains. But on July 4th, she knew something was wrong.
And that's when we noticed Leah really starting to limp and not really enjoying herself. You could see that she wanted to keep up and play with the other kids, but it wasn't working out.
The family went back to the hospital. That's when doctors confirmed Leah had osteosarcoma, an aggressive form of bone cancer.
All right, show her how you can go in circles.
Now she's undergoing chemo and is bound to a wheelchair for the next 9 to 12 months.
I would definitely say it's literally watching your heart break over and over again, and you don't know what to do to, you know, fix that.
Davenport hopes her daughter's story can be a light to other families.
Pay attention to your children. It may not be cancer, but it's not just growing pains.
If you'd like to help Leah's family with medical expenses, we do have their GoFundMe linked to this web story on our website. Yeah, this family is going through a lot. They have to go to the hospital multiple times out of the week sometimes. You know, she is undergoing chemo, and they said it's really tough on her body. It took a hit to her kidneys, so they might have to stay at the hospital 3 or 4 days at a time because she's just going through so much pain.
I can't imagine as a parent, like I know Stacy's probably thinking the same thing. It's just the first thing I think of when you see something like that. It's like, oh, you know, like my youngest son literally said this morning, he said, my foot feels funny, Dad. You know, you think like, well, is it asleep or is it, you know, something like that? Did you just sprain it coming down the steps? And it's scary to think about that, but you have to pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just made me think, trust your gut, trust your instincts as a parent. I've only experienced this once where Baylor was really sick and we could not get her to feel better. It ended up being an ear infection, but I kept calling the doctor's office and they're like, oh, you know, it's just a cold or whatever. And I was like, no, something's seriously wrong. And it ended up being an ear infection. So it just proves, like, trust your instinct as a parent because you know what's best for your child.
Well, you can see signs that they don't see because you see them, you know, day in, day out for hours at a time. You notice little changes in your kids, so you have to pay attention.
Yeah, definitely just follow up. Don't take that first, you know, oh, nothing's wrong for an answer, especially like you said, if you see that progression over time, them start to change.
But she seems like she's in really good spirits. She's adorable.
Absolutely. She's adorable. She's doing great, and we're hoping she can open that restaurant one day.
Oh, I would love that. I will
awesome.
go eat there for sure.
Yeah, that's right. We'll all go. We'll all go. Let's talk about our forecast, shall we? We've got some stuff going on here with the, you know, showers again. So we had some rain, right? And then it was a cold, rainy day, and then we got a break today. Well, now the clouds build back in with yet another system that'll be moving through tomorrow. Rain chances about a 30%. More likely the farther east you go than the farther west of the triad. So, in fact, it's probably more of an eastern half of the viewing area type of rain event tomorrow, that 30%. We're in the low 40s right now, at least here in the triad. You head to Raleigh at 43. Fayetteville jumps up to 44. Wilmington and Hatteras with all that water around there, 50 degrees, 47 in Myrtle Beach. All right, for tonight, you'll see clouds go on the increase. They'll build in, but overnight lows around 28. Tomorrow, cloudy, cold with a late day shower possible. It looks like that's the timing of that low pressure center, and the high is only 45, so that is a cold day. Very similar to what we had today, to be honest. Satellite and radar combo, you see the clouds starting to move in. Here's all the mess to the south. This is part of that low pressure center, and if you look at this over the next 24 hours or so, it lifts to the north. Now, it should hug right along the coastal sections, then it throws back some of that rain. So again, our mountain and foothill communities may not get as much as, say, from the triad proper and east, This is a Tuesday afternoon thing, and then it's gone by tomorrow night, probably 10 or 11 o'clock. You won't see any rain anymore, and we'll start to clear out for your Wednesday. Now, when you look at this long-range outlook, 45 tomorrow, late day shower. Wednesday, gradual clearing, 53. It's sunny on Thursday, but a high of only 49. Look at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, 57 and 64. Partly cloudy. It's going to be nice on those 2 days. In fact, a warm weekend in case the kids get any toys to play with outside. That's going to be fun. 64 on Saturday, 62 Sunday, and we're cooling down with another rain chance coming in on Monday. Yeah, look right there. 5 days, the big day is getting closer, and those holiday tunes, they always fill our heads, don't they? Well, since today is National Go Caroling Day, I thought I'd ask you on Facebook, what carols do you love to sing the most? Everybody chimed in here. Candy said, "Oh Holy Night," because it gives me chills each and every time I hear it. Tammy said, "Winter Wonderland." It just sounds like it's so magical. Melissa said, "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree." It's happy, upbeat, and it also makes me think of the movie Home Alone. Very true. Melita said, "Oh Holy Night." I can still hear my dad singing it. Christmas in Dixie, also such a great Alabama song. And then Candy Ling Burke said, "Up on the Housetop." It reminds me of my granddaddy. And Phyllis said, "I heard the bells on Christmas Day." That's a good one. You said click, 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 didn't you?
I did.
So we had a discussion. I'm glad that we brought that song up because we had a discussion the other night at my house. Are there two versions of that song or two? Because there's one where they say click, 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 something old St. Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the version I know.
That's the one I know too.
And then there's another one, "Here Comes Good Old Santa Claus." They say, I can't think of what the line, or I don't know, maybe that's another line in the same song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's,
Is that what it is?
yeah, I think it's another chorus.
I couldn't tell
Not
you.
quite.
I just
Up on
know
the
the verse.
housetop,
Click, click.
or rooftop, "Reindeer paws, out comes good old Santa Claus."
Okay.
I think that's another line. But anyway, we got into this argument thinking which one's right.
Y'all were going back and forth with you and Leslie?
No, it was actually Tyler came up with this. My 11-year-old son was like, "No, I think it's this." And then we were like, "No, I think it's this." So you got to look that up.
Favorite carol?
Oh gosh. I just always think of Christmas, "Mary Did You Know."
Okay.
That was like my
Oh, that's a
favorite
good one.
listening to at church.
Gosh, favorite of all time?
I know, it's so hard.
I mean, that's really hard because I like some of the classic stuff. I still love White Christmas by Bing Crosby, but if it had to be something more modern, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I like Mariah Carey's song.
I like that too.
I've always
I love
loved
me
it.
some Mimi.
I've always loved that song.
It's such a classic.
I like Silent Night, First Noel. I love all the services that they have, Christmas Eve and all the songs that they sing then. It
that's
just
what I was
really
thinking
gets
of,
you
too.
into the spirit.
If you have a full choir and you're listening to that on Christmas Eve, that is the coolest.
And then they're like,
yes, it's true.
And then you got
like,
your little candles out.
yes.
With a little paper circle around the bottom of it.
that harmony.
That's right. All right, let us know on Facebook what your favorite songs are. We'll be back.
Hey, headed in there to talk about Sherry Beasley. We sat down with her today to find out who she is and what she stands for.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Stacey Spivey with Eric Chilton and Lauren Coleman.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching the 4 to the 5. Whether you're watching at home, Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFNY News 2 app, so many ways to watch us.
And we're all wearing pink
Oh,
today.
we are.
Do we plan
On
this?
Mondays we wear pink.
I guess so. I like it. But let's go ahead and get to our top story this half hour. The election to replace Senator Richard Burr when he retires isn't until next year, but the commercials are already all over the airwaves.
Yes, they are. 2 Wants to Know's Ben Briscoe is here to help introduce you to the candidates, starting off with former state Supreme Court Justice Sherry Beasley.
Last week, Beasley's biggest opponent in the Democratic primary dropped out of the race, endorsing her as the presumptive nominee. Afterwards, lots of viewers like you commented that you wanted to know more about the issue where she stands, what's important to the former Chief Justice. So today, I asked her for you.
I'm working really hard as I travel across the state to let them know that I'm going to be that voice, that advocate for them in the Senate and lift the issues that they care deeply about. People care so much about access to healthcare and education and good paying jobs and safety and so much more. And so I'm letting people know across the state in much the same way that I've been a judge for 22 years and led the judicial branch of government that, you know, North Carolina is the home for my family. We raised our children here, and I care deeply about this state, and I'm going to make sure that I fight for the people who live here.
If you get to Washington, what is the first piece of policy that you're going to fight for?
We absolutely must secure and safeguard the constitutional fundamental right to vote. And I can tell you, with 49 states to include North Carolina, with voting rights under attack, we should all be deeply concerned. And with more than 500 pieces of legislation passed across this country, voting rights must be secured. And I hope it happens before I have the opportunity to be in Washington, but it certainly would be a priority.
We're going to talk with Beasley about the Build Back Better Act and inflation coming up at 5 o'clock. I also reached out to the Republican candidates, Pat McCrory, Ted Budd, and Mark Walker. We've given them all a standing offer to sit down and chat, so you at home can get to know them a little better too.
Ben, thank you. North Carolina primaries have been moved from March to May this year. The state Supreme Court made the decision to give lower courts time to make rulings on lawsuits against new state district maps. Those lawsuits argue the maps are illegally gerrymandered. Republican lawmakers say the new lines are legal. Primaries will now be held on May 17th.
A 7-year-old North Carolina girl is warming the hearts of her classmates. Sienna Williams started a donation drive and GoFundMe to help her friends get coats, uniforms, and socks and other clothing to keep classmates warm this winter. She started her mission after she overheard something a staff member said that perked her ears.
She said, "There's kids around the school that don't have anything to put on. Even when it's very cold outside, they have to wear short stuff, short sleeves and all of that stuff."
Oh, isn't she precious? Williams came up with a plan and shared the idea with her writing instructor. With the help of her instructor, Sienna's mother, and the community, Sienna hopes to get enough donations to create a coat and uniform closet within her school. I absolutely love this story. I love to see young people stepping up and helping out their other classmates. This reminds me of a time when I was living in Memphis, reporting at the time, and I was out on a story and it was rainy and it was very cold. And there was a group of kids, they wanted to take a picture with our news crew, and one of them didn't have a jacket. He just had like a long sleeve shirt and he had it over his ears like this. And I said, "Where's your coat?" And he said, "Oh, I don't have one. I don't have a jacket." And I remember that just kind of broke my heart. And it goes to show that these clothing drives are very, very important.
You know, sometimes too, there are kids, and believe me, parents know this, kids lose everything. And there are times they'll lose their, heavy coat like that, and they might need some help. The parents maybe can't afford to get another one, right? Because they are very expensive. So this is perfect, and to see that cute little face doing this just makes it even better.
I know, that's the part of the story I love, that she's so young and she saw a need for something, and instead of just saying, "Oh, that's really sad," and that I wish I could do something, she took action to make sure that her classmates and other kids were warm this winter, and that's so important.
Adults could take a page from her book, huh?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I know this isn't like a local story, but if someone is doing a coat drive, I'm sure you have a lot of coats in your closet that you haven't used in a while. I can think of like 3 right now that I could easily donate to someone that needs it more.
Yeah, so let us know if there's a place that we can send coats to. Well, I have another good story for you guys. Listen to this. From the classroom to the drive-thru, another young person making a difference in Minnesota. 15-year-old Sydney Rayleigh has earned the title of hero after saving the life of a McDonald's customer. Rayleigh was working the drive-thru on Saturday when she noticed a woman didn't look okay. The teen said the woman was coughing, and her daughter also had a look on her face filled with fear.
I jumped out the window of the drive-thru and I got her out of the car, told her daughter to call 911.
Sydney started doing the Heimlich maneuver, then called over a bystander and asked for help. Together, the two helped the woman get the food out of her airways she was choking on and saved her life.
Man.
Being at the right place at the right time, because imagine if they had taken off from that drive-through and this happened on like the highway or something. That would have been a really scary situation.
But for a teenager to notice that something was wrong and again take action and do something about it,
and just not ignore it.
Yeah.
It's key, I think, that she saw the daughter, because the daughter, you know, family can look at somebody else and go, no, they're not just a little bit choked, you know what I mean? Because they'll know the normal facial expressions of their family members, and she probably identified that through the daughter's look.
Yeah. Two good stories. I love this.
Yeah.
We
Warming
needed
our hearts on this Monday.
This Christmas season.
You know, we get good stories like the week of Christmas here. It's just the way it works. Okay, let's talk about a forecast and what we're seeing over the next few days. Good stuff. Yeah, we've got some warmer weather that's on the way. I mean, it'll get here. We have to get through a day or two, right? Because we're still cold. I mean, look what's back behind all this. Boone's at 35, Asheville 42, Lexington 43, and you get the idea. Everybody's kind of consistent, right? Normally we'll see big differences, especially when we head back to the north, but Cincinnati is within 4 degrees of what our temperature is, and that really tells you the story that there's a lot of cloud cover that's starting to move in, and that will kind of dominate the forecast overnight tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, I think, as well. And you look at this hour by hour, we're staying in the 30s through the evening till about 11 o'clock tonight, and then we'll get into the 20s. That's where we'll stay, I think, those upper 20s as we head into the overnight hours and tomorrow morning, so that'll be your step out temperature. Cloud cover building in, as we mentioned, and it's all ahead of this next system. That is a low pressure that's in the Gulf. That'll be heading back up our way, kind of hugging the coastline over the next day or so. This is tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, the rain starts to overspread the area. Most of it is east of the Triad, but we still keep a 30% chance of a shower in for us. Then it lifts to the north. We'll clear out a bit, and Wednesday looks a little bit better, but temperatures are a little bit all over the place, as we mentioned, and we're kind of getting used to that, aren't we? It's the way it's been lately. 45 tomorrow with late day shower, then clearer on Wednesday and 53. A cold, sunny Thursday at 49. Christmas Eve, a high of 57. A low that night, fairly mild for Santa there, 42, with a high of 64 on Saturday. And Sunday, partly cloudy and 62.
All right, so you got the popcorn, you're watching by the light of the Christmas tree. What are the top 5 Christmas movies? Well, it all depends on who you ask. All right, so what movie makes it into your top 5?
Home Alone, hands down.
Okay.
I know Stacy's.
Oh yeah, we know hers.
Elf, okay.
Yes.
All right.
White Christmas, and I know, dare I say, Die Hard. I love Die Hard.
Oh my God.
Is that really
a lot of people say that it's a Christmas movie. All right, let's see how your picks match up with the list from Better Homes and Gardens. They made a list of 65 Christmas movies. Again, it's not the end all be all, but they put number 1 as It's a Wonderful Life. Of course, that is a classic. And as we scroll past, my favorite is number 2, which is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And then we go to number 3, and that is A Christmas Story. You know, you're going to shoot your eye out. I never watched this until about 3 or 4 years ago. I do enjoy it though. Number 4 here is A Charlie Brown Christmas. Of course, it's a classic. And number 5, there you go, Stacy. Elf, it is so easy, so quotable, so easy to laugh out loud. So let me ask you, how many times maybe have you watched one of these top 5 movies?
I have seen Elf a couple times. It's been a few years. I've seen Charlie Brown Christmas almost every Christmas. So.
Right, okay.
So my wife watches National Lampoon Christmas Vacation about 2 times a week. I'm not kidding.
Really?
I could hang with her.
Yeah.
And you probably knew that, Tanya, but from Thanksgiving through Christmas, she watches it all. So last night we watched it all as a family. But we've watched Elf and that one. I have not seen Christmas Story yet because that's one of my favorites. And we're saving White Christmas because they're playing that at the Carolina Theater on the big screen.
Oh, that's going to be great on the silver
awesome.
screen. Okay. How many times have you watched Elf? Fess up.
Honestly, I put it on before I go to sleep. And
Every night. Why not, right?
it's either that or The Grinch, because I do love The Grinch.
Oh, that's a good
but
one,
Elf
too.
is number 1 in my heart, always and forever.
So my holiday tradition is to watch Christmas Vacation while I wrap my gifts. It's just my thing. That's what I do. And there's a guy who takes the love of this movie to the very next level. Check this out.
I think there's something not wired right in my head that would do something like this, but
it's fantastic. The house covered in lights. There's a cousin Eddie with the RV, a Clark with his chainsaw, and a Clark with his bonus envelope for Jelly of the Month. He had been accurately recreating this home from the iconic 1989 Chevy Chase movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, for 4 years in a row now. But this year, the display artist added the second story. And while it makes the display more accurate, the city says he did it without a permit and it could possibly fall and hurt someone. So either he takes it down or he pays a fine of up to $1,200.
I don't believe that we need to be taking this down.
All right, so as you can imagine, folks who are coming by to take pictures are donating money for the fines.
That's what I was about to say. I said, surely you could put a little donation box out there and pay for that fine.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, it is a large display. He's got like all the things.
Yeah, like you can't miss it. It's just like
Right.
loud.
And I'm not going to out the people in this studio who says they've never seen this movie. I'm not going to out them.
What?
I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone. I'm just saying you should probably watch it. All right, I'm talking about Christmas movies on my Facebook page. We would love you to chime in. I enjoy hearing what makes your holiday traditions and your memories.
Hello, I'm Senior Aaron Moultrie out of Joint Base Charleston. I'm here deployed overseas. I just want to give a shout out to all my friends and family back home in Charleston, South Carolina, and wish you guys a happy holidays. I love you and miss you guys and can't wait to see you.
Welcome back. So they got a new director, they got a new facility. Now they're adding a little bit of fun. I spoke with the director of Guilford County Animal Services, Jorge Ortega, about the new faces that we will see very soon. Well, Jorge, this is about the coolest thing I've heard of. First of all, the public gets a chance to name these branding icons, but second of all, it's from Disney. Can you please tell me how all this came about?
Yeah, so our community engagement manager, Stephen Carlson, has a acquaintance, a friend that works at Disney or has done some work for Disney in the past. And as we were talking about developing or creating a mascot for animal services, since we are, rebranding, we have a new facility, and we're looking at just really focusing on changing our image and the services we provide for the community. We thought that having a mascot would be a great way to continue that forward momentum that we've had.
So tell me how this will work. How can we give our idea of what these names should be?
Yeah, so the goal right now is to get the community engaged, to start getting names, gathering names. We're still working on determining when the date is going to be and how we get the names that have been submitted out to the community, and kind of figuring out if, letting social media vote for the names, the name for the dog and the name for the cat.
So tell us how these mascots will be used. Where will we be seeing them?
We really wanted to have something that really represented us out in the community. There's times where we cannot take live animals with us to these special events. So we really wanted to make sure that we represented our animal population in a different way. So the mascots will be used in, special adoption promotions, special events. Humane education is really something we're looking forward to, working with the schools or school programs.
Well, this is awesome. I think it's great. Even the cartoon versions are wonderful. Thanks, Jorge, for your time today. So it was funny, I was doing the story and interviewing him, and then about halfway through, I thought that these were just cartoon characters that this Disney animator had drawn, but that's just the rendering of that. They're actually going to be physical people in mascot costumes that will go on location out everywhere, and the public gets to name them. So what they're going to do is, once they get those costumes in, then they're going to put some images out and get people to submit names. Then they'll pick the top 5 or however many, and then you can vote online. Now, none of that has started yet, so we don't have a link for you yet. They're still working on it.
So kind of like how Chick-fil-A has the cows, then the shelter will have their mascots.
That's right, a dog and a cat.
Okay, and so people were like, they're here, so I can probably adopt a pet or something.
I love that. I think they are just trying to revamp everything with this new building, with new people, and a new mascot. I think it's great. They're trying to really bring a positive light to the shelter. I don't know if y'all have been out to the new one.
I have not, but I've seen your stories that you've done on it. It's huge. It looks so beautiful.
So nice. So much natural light, and you can just feel like this revived energy there that I really like. And that's so cool. It's a Disney animator.
Yeah, so this guy was friends with one of the staff members, and he had worked on Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Toy Story 2, and so he drew this for him. So very cool.
And there's a way we can see those images online, right?
You can see it on their Facebook page now, but they haven't opened up the naming stuff yet. So check it out. We'll be back.
As we inch closer to the close of 2021, Coach Lamont asked the question, would you drink poison? Well, if you're harboring unforgiveness, you already are.
They say unforgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. It is a bitter road, a road where many of us travel upon, not knowing how to move on or let things go. We struggle because we are reminded of the pain, the cause and effect, which rips at our soul. We will never forget the things that were done or the wrongs that were done, but we must forgive. See, forgiveness is not letting the other person off the hook for what they did. It lets you off the hook for the pain that you've been harboring that they caused. It is a process, yes, we can't deny that, but it is worthy of an exercise to do. Somewhere in our lives, someone will have to forgive us, so let's set the example. Take back your power, forgive today. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best YOUDAY. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, so we've talked about this topic before, and you always say it best, Lauren. You have, when we talk about forgiveness and letting that go.
You know, they say the forgiveness is more for you rather than the person that hurt your feelings. They say that's when the healing begins. You're able to like set yourself free from not holding on to whatever that resentment or pain is.
Yeah, because think about it. If you're mad at someone and upset with them, it's just like fuels a fire within you, and you can never get over it. And finally, if you just say, okay, and just let go of it.
Move on.
Then you feel better.
Then you go do fun things like Winterfest.
Have you guys made it out there yet?
I haven't.
I was there opening night. It is a lot
of
fun.
I thought we were about to have a crash.
Oh, did somebody go sliding? Well, if you got little kids out
somebody
there with
did
those things.
just kind of fall over.
I have not been, but I go every year. I love that place.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And they have the little handlebars there if you don't really know how to skate that well. I saw some adults out there using those when I was
probably
there.
would.
You were there on the first day, right?
Yeah, I was there
Opening
opening
day,
night.
Yeah.
I was there for a couple of hours, and I just got like better and better and better as the hours went on.
What was funny was when Chad was doing his live shot, Lauren would go through it in the background.
I was like, you could have my hands out like this. I was like, I do not want to fall on TV.
Oh, yeah. Chad skates like a
He came out the
NHL player.
womb skating, so.
All right, we're coming back in just a minute. My 2 cents straight ahead.
Deputies say the student found the gun, Amanda Ward's house. Their mother.
Hi, the 4 to 5 crew coordinated perfectly with their.
Well, I hope you start feeling better.
Hi, Callie, and the new. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Can't find the button.
Hey there, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona.
So it's time for My 2 Cents, and today is a mobile My 2 Cents. I can't look at you a whole lot because I'm driving. So my wife and I have talked about this over the years. Okay, I'm coming to a stop here. She doesn't like to go out to eat alone. She's like, I feel weird. I just don't like it. I think everybody's looking at me. I just not comfortable. Never bothers me. I do it all the time. In fact, if I meet new people, that's even a bonus, the way I look at it. So I thought we'd document it. See, is this awkward or not? Here we go. Going to eat lunch. Alone. We are walking in. Oh, no, we're not. They're closed. Okay, don't do this on a Monday. All right, so I'm doing it. There's nothing to this. Nothing to this. Look, he's not looking at me. He doesn't care that I'm here. He doesn't even care that I'm talking to my cell phone in a video of myself alone. Now that sounds weird when you say it, but nobody cares anymore. We live in a society where that's not weird anymore. See? There you go. Couldn't care less. So the next time you feel awkward having a meal by yourself, just remember, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. And you know what? I don't even feel like I've been alone because I've been talking to you the whole time. But that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, I did have pizza, by the way. I'll be up